services, Plapis. So what's this about? Well, at the start it was envisaged as something that gives access by which to buy a computer from a store, by which you can reserve a table in a restaurant. You can buy a credit card for Skype so that you can talk over Skype. But this was too broad. So we decided we had to limit its scope. We decided to relate it to leisure. So the entire platform is all about leisure. So we talk about overall management of leisure services and products for people with special needs. What were we looking for with this platform? There are lots of applications for leisure. In all virtual stores, you could be talking about Apple, Android, Nokia. There are lots of solutions for leisure activities, but they're all specific for the specific platform, so it's highly fragmented. Here we have made-to-measure applications for each one, but there's no universal, overall, global, accessible platform, because some things may be common to all, but we don't have accessibility in all. So we wanted to fill this gap in the market. So what we tried to do was a demonstration that this was possible. So it's not a product that we've brought out for the market. We've brought it close, but we've got to make a lot more progress so that the platform can be used and work correctly. What are the objectives of the platform? Well, we want it to be completely or highly interactive. We want multimodal interfaces which are interactive so that it's very simple. It shouldn't be complicated to use these interfaces to send requests, to read the answers that are displayed. It should be very simple. That would be the main objective. We want INREDIS to be applied to the world of leisure. We want to facilitate communication mechanisms in the INREDIS architecture. But if, for example, if somebody is not very technologically minded, then they may ask, well, what's the purpose? We want to give solutions, we want to offer innovation to make a cash machine accessible, or to make it possible to communicate with an information panel, or to communicate with a leisure service. We wanted to isolate INREDIS from all of the services that we connect to, so we wouldn't have to touch INREDIS itself. For example, if you're communicating with a cash machine or any other, then INREDIS had to be completely independent. So the initial idea, at a more technological level, we're talking about any kind of device, a mobile phone, a laptop, a tablet, whatever. It would be connected to INREDIS, and via INREDIS it would be connected to the accessible leisure platform. So this would be independent. If we look at the leisure platform in detail, it would consist of these components. It has an information channel which captures what is sent. This is the request manager. It captures the requests, and this connects with the different modules. We have a recommendation and post and after sales analysis module, geolocalization module, and payment safety and delivery module. So the recommendations and after sales is in charge of capturing the request for a table in a restaurant which is 50 kilometers away as a maximum. They want to spend 30 euros maximum, and they want it to be accessible for physically handicapped. This arrives at the module. This is dealt with in order to generate a list of restaurants that meet the criteria for that particular person, and there is subsequent feedback. So when the user has chosen the restaurant, hotel, cinema ticket, they can answer a questionnaire, and this gives feedback which returns to the system and makes it more and more intelligent. So somebody with a physical handicap goes to a hotel which was in theory accessible, but it wasn't all that accessible, then that person can complete the questionnaire and the whole system is updated with the more accurate information. If we talk about geolocalization module, then this is about developing routes, for example, to arriving in different places. It can calculate distances between different points. For example, the current position, how you can get to the hotel where you have a room reserved. So this would be the geolocalization module, and it would carry out these functions. And then lastly, payment, safety, and delivery. This is all about making the payment for the product that you want to buy, and it will give you a virtual ticket that you can download on your mobile phone. And when you're at the cinema, for example, and you've bought the ticket, then you will get it. You just show your phone, and there's a kind of barcode that you show when you go in, and it's exactly the same as if you had a paper ticket. So the functionality of the platform, first of all, to search for a leisure product. You can do this according to lots of different criteria. You can look for detailed information of a product. You can reserve or buy a product. So like I said, a reservation in a hotel or a restaurant, or you could buy cinema tickets or theatre tickets. Then you'd have the virtual delivery of the product if the purchase is done correctly. Then we have the feedback. You can answer all these questions. And lastly, complete management of virtual products. So the background, the information is stored, and it's constantly improved. So the technology used, we have SOA, service-oriented architecture, we have web service. We've also used another one which is UIML, which is to define the different interfaces, and different APIs for geolocalization and the generation of virtual tickets, and the payment as well, but that's a more simulated part. So, what have we attained as results? We've fulfilled the proposed objectives. We've implemented the different functions. As I said, the search for information, detailed information, the search for routes, for example, to walk to that place. All of the functions that we set out to cover, we did indeed cover. And then lastly, the whole platform has been validated with different users with different profiles, above all disabled people, above all visually impaired individuals, and people with difficulty in hearing. Well, it's very difficult to see the platform in just two images, but on the left here we can see an iPhone, how we would see the information about a restaurant. For somebody with visual impairment or limited vision, it's high contrast, and it tells you that that restaurant is adapted for different disabilities, how you get there, when you could reserve, and etc. And on the right we can see how you'd see the purchase of virtual tickets or the management of virtual tickets on a PC. So our conclusions, what have we done? We've managed to validate in Redis. We've communicated with target services, some of our own and some that we found on the web, such as information sources that we have taken. And also we have combined different services together in order to give real value to the platform. So, well, as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of the presentation, and so now I shall give the floor to Begonia.